I want to talk about the Brittney Griner situation. I'm sure some of you have been following this. She has just been sentenced to 9 years in Russia for possessing cannabis. It was a oil cartridge, a hash oil cartridge. Um, Obviously, I think that's egregious and ridiculous, and I don't think she should be punished in such a way for possessing a harmless substance. I think that's true all around the world. Um, and I think there's obviously a race element here because I read one story. I couldn't find it to bring it up to show you guys, but there was a woman who actually trafficked drugs into Russia, who was also an American, and who only got a couple of months for her, maybe it was 3 months, whatever it was, for trafficking drugs into Russia. Guess what? Brittney Griner is black. That woman is white. So there's obviously also a racial element to this, as there often is with drug charges. The more massive hypocrisy, of course, is in the United States throwing stones over this. I have a tweet here I want to show you guys. This from Starbucks Union's Form Like Voltron. Says, and they have the nerve to talk about Brittney Griner. Fucking hypocrites. And they show a screenshot of an article here that says federal cannabis arrests jump 25% under Biden. Of course, you guys, I mean, I literally could go on for an hour about this, right? Biden wrote the 94 crime bill. He's literally spent his entire career fighting for harsher penalties for drugs or for drug possession and anything to do with drugs, really. Harsher penalties for anyone. Joe Biden, obviously a, massive racist. When you have a quote attributed to your name that says, I don't want my kids growing up in a racial jungle, you have lost all benefit of the doubt on that issue. So Biden contributing to all of these problems consistently throughout his entire career. By the way, right now, we're going to talk later, he wants to add 100,000 cops to the United States, where a whole lot of states still prosecute what? Marijuana charges. But Biden and Harris come out and condemn this sentence of Brittney Griner. Kamala, too, of course, right? Law and Order prosecutor laughed about locking up 1,500 people for marijuana, but laughed about it in the context of, but I've smoked marijuana, right? Fucking hypocrites. Massive fucking hypocrites. Kamala Harris, who opposed the release of over 1,000 nonviolent drug offenders because it would cut into the prison labor pool, right? This is the person who's going to throw stones at Russia for the Brittney Griner sentence. And again, you guys, egregious. Brittney Griner should be let go. Shame on whatever judge decided on that sentence. Shame on Russia for still enforcing such barbaric and draconian laws. And shame on the United States for the same. And shame on Kamala Harris and Biden for their rank hypocrisy on the matter, right? Both of these individuals are particularly guilty on this particular issue. Kamala, a law and order prosecutor, a cop, and Biden having spent his whole career not just supporting harsher drug sentences, but very actively fighting for and pushing for harsher drug sentences and writing the 94 crime bill himself. So, you just really cannot make up the hypocrisy. Like I say, a lot of news these days really does read like The Onion. And, I don't know what to say. I think it's shameful that Brittney Griner is going to spend so long in prison, and I think it's shameful that so many people are still in prison in this country on marijuana charges or drug possession charges of any kind. We need to decriminalize all drugs and treat addiction like a mental and behavioral health issue, which is what it is. People who are struggling with addiction, you guys, first of all, a major factor in addiction is your material well-being. So one of the things we could do to help address the problem is simply provide people with a better life, better income, better housing, better education, right? More social services. All of that would help to cut into the addiction and mental health issues. But addiction, where it still exists, even in a healthy society, it should be treated. You should not be jailed for it. You should have a professional help you through that struggle. And instead of putting resources towards that, we just throw resources at cops, like what Biden's doing right now. As I said, we're going to talk about that later. He wants 100,000 more fucking cops, you guys. 100,000 more fucking cops. So I stand with Brittney Griner, and I stand with every person in the United States that's sitting in jail or prison on a drug possession charge. That is, it's incredibly ridiculous that it is 2022 and we are still having to have this fucking conversation. This, by the way, you guys, is one of those things that Joe Biden could do by executive order. He does not need Congress's approval to deschedule marijuana. It would have so many positive ripple effects. So many positive ripple effects. Anyway, thought the hypocrisy on that story was rather ridiculous.